In this video, are we talking about neurolinguistics? And neurolinguistics is the study of linguistics in terms of the brain, in terms of neurology. And two important terms that we're going to need to understand are Broca's area and Wernicke's area. Now, the traditional view in neuroscience is that certain areas of the brain are responsible for certain functions. We now know that that's not 100% true, and the brain is very plastic. It can kind of adapt to different circumstances. Okay, so how do we study neurolinguistics nowadays? Well, just like this guy here, he's wearing a cap, and it has kind of lots of cables connected to it, and these cables register electrical impulses. And these electrical impulses, when there are electrical impulses in the brain, you can detect this electrical activity, and those electrical impulses are kind of indicators of brain activity. Okay, so they monitor brain activity, and they detect certain activity in certain areas of the brain when doing certain things. Okay, so the old way of studying neurolinguistics was with brain damage. Accidents happen. Your brain can get damaged in many different ways. You can have an accident, you can fall, you can be in a car accident, or more commonly, you can have a stroke. And when strokes happen, blood and oxygen are usually starved from certain areas of the brain, and that can lead to damage to those areas of the brain. And when you find that different people have the same areas of their brain damaged and they present similar symptoms, then you can kind of conclude that that area of the brain is responsible for a certain function, because when that area of the brain is damaged, the different people have similar, it affects similar people, it affects different people in similar ways. Okay, so what is aphasia? You've probably experienced this when the word is on the tip of your tongue, when you're like, oh, I can't think of the word. What was the word for that thing? You know, that thingy that, you know, you use it, and that's aphasia. Yeah, but usually for most people, aphasia is, you know, lasts for maybe 30 seconds or something like that, and then it's gone. But when aphasia happens for, you know, on a longer time scale, for years or something like that, then we get to a case of what we call language impairment. And this can affect production, the way you speak, and or the way you comprehend. But as we will see, it usually just affects production, or usually just affects comprehension, if you have damage in certain areas of the brain. Okay, so one area is Broca's area. Paul Broca was a French neuroscientist, and what he discovered was that when this area of the brain is damaged, it typically affects production, the way we speak, the way we move our lips, the way we move our tongue. That's called articulation, the way we move our mouths to speak. Okay. I have a video here of a sufferer of Broca's aphasia.
And what is Voices of Hope?
Peterburg, and Dr. Hinckley and myself, founder for me, and members.
So as you can see in this video, this gentleman can actually speak. He can talk. He can move his lips and his tongue, and, you know, his accent is perfect. But he can't really connect ideas. He can't connect the things that he wants to say. Okay, so that's an example of Broca's aphasia. So as you can see, that's not a problem with his mouth or his voice box or anything like that, or his teeth or his tongue. All of that is completely fine. So it's a problem with language in the brain.
And what is...
Okay. So let's have a look at another area, which is Wernicke's area. Just remember that Broca's area is right here, and Wernicke's area is over here. Okay. Now, this usually affects comprehension. Some people call this fluent aphasia, when you can speak absolutely fluently, but you don't really make any sense because you don't understand what somebody has said to you. This doesn't usually affect speech. So I have another video here.
What are you doing today?
We stayed with the water over here at the moment and talked with the people for them over there. They're diving for them at the moment. They'll save in the moment. He'll have water very soon for him. With luck for him.
So as you can see, this gentleman can speak perfectly fluently. He doesn't stutter. He can, create full sentences, but usually the full sentences are just absolute nonsense. He kind of repeats himself and seems to have no comprehension of language. Now, both of these gentlemen here have suffered from strokes, and they both have brain damage. And as we can see, when the brain is damaged in different parts, that will affect the way you either process or you produce language. So as always, guys, I hope this information was useful.